All right. A client gets a sticker after their fourth, sixth, and ninth word read out loud. This is most likely which schedule of reinforcement? A, fixed interval, B, fixed ratio, C, variable ratio, or D, variable interval. C is the correct answer. This is a variable ratio schedule. And I'll tell you why is fourth, sixth, and ninth means that they had 4 responses, then got a sticker, then 2 more, then got a sticker, and then 3 more, and then got a sticker. And so it can't be fixed because they were doing a different amount each time. So it must be variable. And then we have to tell whether it's interval or ratio. And remember, interval is always going to be the first time we do a response after a timer a timer has elapsed. And so it's not going to be ratio because there's nothing in this about time. Or sorry, it's not going to be interval because there's nothing about in here about time. So it must be interval. Or sorry, oh, y'all, this cold is getting me. I'm going to start again from the top of this sentence and I'm going to say it right. This scenario says nothing about time, so it must be ratio. And it has to be variable because there's different amounts for each of the ratios. So it's variable ratio. So what schedule it is, we actually wouldn't know with only 3, but judging by the information that we have, we had 4, 3, and then 2. So that's going to be an average of 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 more is 9, divided by 3 total instances of reinforcement is a schedule of 3 based on the information that we have. So it'd be a VR3, but we don't really know. Let's talk about it. So variable ratio requires the completion of a variable number of responses to produce a reinforcer. So with consistency, we get that quick and steady consistency. We get a quick rate of response, and a higher ratio equals higher rate of response. This is why, and I know I say this in the pre-recorded lectures, but this is why casinos use a variable ratio schedule of reinforcement because they want your money. And if you knew that every 10th time you were going to be reinforced by the slot machine, you would probably spend some money, but there's an extra element of consistency, steadiness, and quickness that comes with not knowing when the next reinforcement is going to come. Because who wants to walk away from a slot machine when you know that some little old lady is going to sit down right next to you or right behind you, and then she's going to hit the jackpot and you're not going to get your money? And I'd like to think that I'm above it because I know how it works. But one time I presented in Reno and I went to a casino. I'm like not a casino person, but I went and there was this fun thing called, it was like a playoff Plinko. It was called like Klinko. It was like one letter off from Plinko. And it was like that Price is Right game where the little thing comes sliding down and it would give you like a prize every time that it would happen. And my friend and I definitely spent $200 or something absurd in those Klinko machines because it was so fun. You just never knew. And then there were dancing people, and then there was a Klinko, and it was all very reinforcing. There was immediate reinforcement in the form of dancing people and a screen and all sorts of things. But that variable ratio of thinking, we're going to walk away and some little lady's going to sit here and take our money. So then let's spend another $20. That's how it works, right? So we get this quick, consistent, steady rate. And it's crazy because the higher the ratio, the higher the rate of response because the person wants to get to the win. And then I ask in the pre-recorded lecture what a VR8 schedule is. And it is just a schedule where the average of how many responses are required before the first one's reinforced is 8. So sometimes you're going to have 4, sometimes you're going to have 12, sometimes you're going to have 7, sometimes you're going to have 11. It just needs to add up to 8. This is me asking for reinforcement. Well, potential reinforcement.